Several riders have left their mark on the Tour of Flanders. Tom Boonen, Peter van Petegem, Eddy Merckx and Walter Godefroot. They've all won the race twice. So first of all, we're going to hear from Walter Godefroot, who won the race in 1968 and 1978. Well, all the first memories of my childhood, the stories that I heard when I was young. That is why we're here at the monument of Karel van Wijlingdaal, the founder of the Tour of Flanders. I also knew his son, William Wijlingdaal, much better as a journalist. The Coventry is a national road, a highway at that time. The road was awful, bad cobblestones and a small dirt patch alongside it. It was the break point in the race. They're all fighting to be at the front of the Quermonts under those conditions. And later they rebuilt the road and it became much better. Well, this race was created back in 1913. It was only in 1919 the public really got interested in it.
Met de jaren meer en meer. Eerst en vooral is hij ook.
Well, over the year, the Tour of Flanders has become the most important event. It's more important than the National Day. It's a monument. It's history. Now let's hear from Van Petegem, winner in 1999.
Voor mij het belangrijkste wat ik herinner is.
I went with my parents to the Tour of Flanders. I was 4 or 5 years old. We went to see Ferry van Houten. It was like a kermis. There's always lots of people there. Everybody was outside to watch the race, and in the evening the bars were full with people. I look forward to this race. And how about Tom Boonen? Well, my first memories for the time when Jan Mozo won, I think it was 95 or 98. I was a debutant at the time. I rode a small race in Medderburg just before the finish of the Tour of Flanders. Before that I was not so into cycling. I had other interests. Cycling was a hobby, but the feeling you had of those riders pass through to finish the Tour of Flanders, that's my first memory of the Tour of Flanders. Well, the fans come out in force.
Is de max, hè?
It's the best race. It's the race of the year. That's why we're here.
Daar zijn wij ook aanwezig.
Very proud.
Dan zullen ze wel zien dat de Ronde van Vlaanderen.
Tour of Flanders. It promotes the Flemish identity. It might be a bit of a cliché, but it's the core, the heart, the very centre of our identity. Yes. Well, from the very start to the present day, Flemish riders have really been a part of this race to become a real Flandrian. How about our sports journalist comments? Well, he's now director of this Tour of Flanders Museum, and he said it's Brik Schotter. No coincidence, he's also the last Flandrian, a real Flandrian type of rider. He had a very bad position on the bike and not elegant to watch. Typical of the rider at the time. It is all or nothing. It's the romantic image that we have of the hard-working rider who's riding on God's roads in Flanders over the cobbles. That is the image we have, whereas Boonen is much more a modern Flandrian.
Ja, dus dan moet iemand anders over u.
Well, this is the modern Flandrian saying that, well, that should say something about you. To me, there's no description of what is a Flandrian. It's an honourable title you get from the public, but there are a lot of foreigners who would like to have that title. I know that Bettini is doing his best to win these kind of races just to get the title of Flandrian. It's the image of the 40s and 50s, cycled on steel bikes, riding on 400-kilometre long races in very, very bad roads. And that has to say something about the Tour of Flandrian, that when you win the race, like Flanders or Roubaix, then people say, he is a Flandrian.
Hij komt niet van het centrum van Vlaanderen.
Well, that's ironic for someone to say that. He's from the centre of Flanders. The Flanders mostly come from West Flanders, West or East Flanders. This is a unique race with an exceptional route. Tour of Flanders doesn't look like any other classical race. Eddie Merckx himself had a hard time winning this event.
Le Tour de Flandre est une épreuve où il y a beaucoup plus de changements.
Eddie's saying that the Tour of Flanders is a race where there are many changes of pace. There are not enough straight roads. You ride 2 or 3 kilometers on a road and then you turn left or right. There are many changes of direction and there are also a few cobbles. It's much more acrobatic than other races. Merckx, well, he won 3 Flèche-Wallonne, 3 Gant-Wevelgem, 3 Paris-Roubaix, 5 Liège-Bastogne-Liège and 7 Milan-San Remo. So why just 2 Tour de Flanders? Because you go slower overall. Because you need to constantly accelerate. That's like doing a sprint. So it's more difficult for me to win the Tour of Flanders. Riders constantly catch up with you. You hit the brakes, and very often you would attack again, and after 500 meters you had to brake again, and then the chasers were on your back, and that's partly why I only won it twice. Even so, very few riders have done that. So here's Peter van Petegem, a special race for special riders. What do they have in common that others don't have?
First of
all, you must love the cobblestones, the small roads, and the character of the Belgian races. Knowledge about the train is very important, and then you need the physical strength. And of course the brain to win it. How about Tom Boonen's experience?
US Postal.
It was with US Postal in 2002. After training USA, I rode in the 3 days of Panna. I did a totally different program for the riders, but I was 16th or 17th, and in the end I knew I could win this race. I was still gaining experience on the Bellendres, and Joe Plankott came to me and said, when you have come so far, you have potential. I'll never forget, I was 16th or 17th the year that Taffy won. They were in a small group of 5 or 6 men, and we're behind. In the end, I was really dead. Well, when you're in front, going for victory, Van Petegem is saying here, or when you're the first of the top of the Kwarmont or the Koppenberg, you get goosebumps. And finally, when you win, you get a feeling you just cannot describe.
Wel aan die berg, het is sterk te Vlaanderen. Men ziet de stenen op de overblijfselen.
This is a key part of the race. It's got the character of real Flanders, cobblestones.
Men kijkt de natuur.
The little village of Kwarmont is an authentic part of Flanders. And the scenery, but gosh, it gets noisy. Well, this is 1999, Peter van Petegem going to take his first ronde. This is what established his reputation. Well, for Van Petegem, I crossed the line and felt very elated. You work years to achieve this, something you've dreamt about. And you tell yourself, I want to win this race, and then it happens. Everything falls into place. The last victory was great. Ever since my first victory in the Tour of Flanders, I had some setbacks.
aantal jaren
and people thought that
problemen gehad heb met
I was not
hier en daar
good enough to win the race
een
anymore.
beetje afgeschreven, hè. Dus, en dan wint je voor de
But
tweede keer. En ja,
then I won it for the second time.
2 keer de ronde gewonnen heb, dus
and
een bewijs van
there are not so many riders who won it twice, so they know I'm a strong rider. Tom Burnham won in 2005, 2006.
Ja, dat zijn speciale dagen. Het begint morgen al met Waregem. Ik weet niet hoe dit
It's a special day, right from the very morning.
Ik weet, dit maakt het
big support
denk ik.
in the week before.
Mee op en de volgende dagen en
everybody's talking about the Tour of Flanders.
Dan ga ik bijna over niks anders meer.
The press is full of interviews with the favourites.
Mee in het spektakel betrokken en
they follow the main riders and the public gets very enthusiastic.
Dan denk ik mee dat er heel veel mensen.
And when you ride among spectators on the hills, the feeling you get is very special.
Dat is onbeschrijfelijk. Dus dat is een van de weinige dagen.
It's one of those few days in your career when you don't feel the pedals going uphill.
Dat was eigenlijk heel.
I think that was one of the most crucial attacks in my career, and I knew what I was doing.
Dat ik wist wat ik moest doen.
I only looked back once to see if anybody was on my wheel. From then I didn't look back until 400 meters from the finish.
Als ze terugkomen, verloren. Ik had gegokt.
I knew that
en er waren 2 mogelijkheden, of ik won of ik werd teruggepakt.
I hadn't got to look back because they did come up to me. I'd lost the race. It's a gamble to go flat out. There's only one possibility, win or lose.
Dat ik de Ronde van Vlaanderen ging winnen.
Op het moment dat ze wegreden en je ziet ze, je zit dan in het groepje daarna en
Peter Van Petegem was saying when you see the right brake has gone away and you're in there with very strong legs, it certainly hurts.
Hele goede benen, maar wetend dat ja, als bonen gaat op een zo'n helling dat.
And certainly I'm presuming that what Van Petegem was saying here, that Tom Burnham must also had some difficulty explaining just what it's like to go on your own for the finish, as he does here.
Ik ben net prof te worden en
well, it's
te evolueren
very difficult
van de renners
to explain the sheer happiness.
Jaar mee gekleurd heeft en
in recent years I was the rider
de eerste echte grote klassieker
who was the flavour of the race. And it was the first big classic I ever won. That's why I have special relationships with this race. And certainly after my last victory as world champion, I knew I was able to win for the second time. And you build a relationship that never goes away. It's very difficult to explain. Real happiness. Well, since 1913, only 26 riders out of the 93 editions have been won by foreigners. Steven Vesseman won it 3 years ago.
Ja, als je een hele tijd al dat volgt,
and the fan is saying it's not a problem since I followed this event. It's never been a problem. German rider or even Philippe Gilbert. It doesn't really matter. Actually, Philippe Gilbert is a Belgian, but he comes from Walloon area.
Ich denke, die Leistung wird hier honoriert, dass es nicht abhängt davon, ob du Belgier bist.
And for Steven Vesseman, it's the performance that gets the applause, not the nationality. Clearly they cheer for the Belgian guys, that's normal. Many times I heard my name yelled on the side of the road, and it doesn't matter if I'm not a Belgian. Looking then at the 2004 last kilometre, Dave Brolin started the attack. Hoster didn't want to lose. And away went Vesseman. Well, Belgium want to be the best on their home ground, so there's a lot of rivalry in the Belgian riders, and sometimes, in that case, a foreigner can take advantage of it. That's for sure. It happened here. Steven Vesseman, 2004. It's a great feeling. I was trying to win this race for so many years, and I was very pleased to win in front of my sports director, Godefroy, at the time. He always believed that I could make it here, and he gave me a lot of encouragement. It was just absolutely super. Oh, back then to our sports journalist and the Tour of Flanders director. Yeah, I love that. There are no nationalistic feelings. They're often employed by different teams and they all want to win. Vesseman won that, and it's just a logical explanation of how it came. It was a formidable performance by him. Well, for the Paris-Roubaix, Jean Slabisky was the man who found the Wallers-Arenberg forest. And for the Tour of Flanders, it's Walter Godefroot who found this famous Koppenberg.
Uithoeken zo heb ik allemaal met de fiets gedaan.
Well, this is my training route. I know all the small roads in this part of the world. Once I came across the race director to Flanders, I told him that I'd found this hill. I didn't exactly tell him where it was, because I was afraid he'd put it in the race. But that's exactly what he did. He said, I think I found your hill. It is the infamous Koppenberg. Oh, for Eddie Merckx, he said that there's never been a rider who's taken the lead on the Koppenberg and later won the race. Hopefully they'll drop it, because if you couldn't win on the Koppenberg, you certainly lose there. Furthermore, it's much more in terms of security than difficulty. At certain points, some riders have to get off and stop. And that, I don't think, is a good thing for the Tour of Flanders. The Tour of Flanders doesn't actually need the Koppenberg to be the Tour of Flanders. Well, danger is already present on the Ronde, the very moment at the twists and turns. Well, this year the organisers have removed the Koppenberg, but they've replaced it with yet another big climb.
Het parcours zoals ieder jaar bevat toch een aantal
the course changes every year a little bit.
Vooral in de finale, diep in de finale is
towards the end we've got a new obstacle.
Het lange rechte stuk tussen
it's a long, straight, flat section between the Brakel and the Gransbergen.
Zeer nerveus gedoe met een nieuwe eikenmolen.
So now we've got this new section, a new hill called the Eikenmolenberg. It's a short hill, but a strong rider can go there after 240 kilometers. It's going very nervous, by the way. It's before the Muur de Garensberg, so we can keep that particular style of riding for the Tour of Flanders. Normally teams would get together on the old section between Brakel and Garensberg. That's not possible anymore. So we can't always say, though, that riders can come back before the Muur, and that's going to make new history for the race.
Normaal gezien is dat verleden tijd.
So then, come on, let's open the betting for this coming Tour of Flanders. Who's going to win? What do the champions think about the possibilities of various riders?
Ik heb geweldig veel sympathie voor Wezenman.
Walter Godefroot is tipping Stefan Vesseman here. He says, why shouldn't he win for a second time? He's a rider towards the end of his career, but maybe even off or Bonen or Bettini. Well, they're the two big favourites.
Ik heb ooit een keer gedroomd ook van met 3 renners van de.
I'd like to see 3 riders of the same team on the podium. I know that somebody else has got the same dream, and that's team manager Patrick Lefebvre. That would be great. Oh dear, he says normally I don't make predictions. There are so many factors that can influence the results.
Well,
from Bonen and Bettini, one of them will have to make a sacrifice if they're both their best form. I don't think there'll be any trouble within the team. Maybe one will try and break away before the others, but I think both of them are going to give their best.
Je pense qu'ils vont jouer le jeu jusqu'à fond.
Peter van Pittigem zei.
Well, the question is, Peter van Pittigem has told me that he and Patrick Lefebvre had a dream about 3 riders of the same team being on the podium. Well, it's in Flanders very difficult. In Roubaix it's possible with a strong team. It's happened in the past. But I'll not give you any prognostications. I'll keep my own opinion. So who's going to be the leader then? Leader's not a nice word. We have the luxury to start with 3 potential winners.
uitgesproken.
I don't have to be the leader at the start of the race.
Voor mij niet te zijn, maar
in past years, we looked at the race and who was at the best, and it became clear as we went through who got the best legs and who was the strongest. But we do have the luxury here with Peter, myself and Bettini to be there at the end. Rick van Velgem, he's tipping Fletcher.
Ja, ten eerste uit
I have a good reason for this, and a very optimistic one. There's never been a Spanish rider within the first 10 of the Tour of Flanders. A Spanish rider in the results of Flanders would be good for cycling the Tour, and most of all, Fletcher has the heart of a Flandrian. Is that a Flandrian fan?
Misschien Cancellara.
Maybe Cancellara. An excellent rider. He's won the Paris-Roubaix. But it's impossible to make a prediction. What will Van Petegem do, for instance?
Kun je eigenlijk niet voorspellen.
Will he race for himself or somebody else?
Dat kan zijn dat ze de aandacht afleiden, maar het kan ook zijn dat
Tom Boonen can also ride for somebody else. The team maybe plans something like that to draw attention from him, but maybe a third candidate will appear.
Nee, ik bedoel, als nou bijvoorbeeld een dus met Hoste
what if they're riding against Broylands? Against you mean none of them would let the others get away? That's what sport is all about.
Dat denk ik dat de sport is. Als je dat niet accepteert, dan is het een combine. Dus dat moet erin zitten. En als dat er niet in zit, dan is het eigenlijk, dan is het geen sport meer. Hè. De beste mag winnen,
the best must win.
Zijn, maar dat zou uit de vingerdik op liggen dan. Hè.